Hello, I'm Joel, and here's another bite to Bergen, or at least a place close-ish by an hour or more. Takes a bit of walk, and I just like this place because it's kind of interesting next to the North Sea. Here there is a whole lot of stones that have been stacked on top of each other by the ocean, piled up real flat, long and high. What are these? I don't know, but it came with the ocean. And it's kind of cool. And for once you can get away with the idea of stacking those stone figures called varder. You know, when you put flat stone on top of each other until you make a little tower. Usually used as a way to mark the path I had on mountaintops. But more often than not an irritant for conservationists. I mean, people who want to conserve nature and its beauty. Oh, this seems to be a collection of crow silver. Yeah, it's shiny and it's shiny, reflective, and it's flaky. Not sure if it's used for anything, but it looks nice. And you know, crows like shiny things. In the background you can hear the ocean. And here you can see the purple, in Norway we call it lyng. It's a natural occurring flowering brush here in Norway. Some shrubbery that really enjoys this time of the year. And we have our own brand of honey, or kind of honey, based on these plants by the bees just collecting from these flowers. It's supposed to give it a distinct taste. I am not entirely sure how much that taste is how easy that is to taste, but that doesn't really matter. It's good eating anyways. And here is a first little fellow spreading its spreading seeds. And here is the blue clock, or blue bell, I suppose, blåklocka. Because it's blue and it looks like a church bell. Sometimes names are very descriptive. Other times, yeah, they are just names. And yes, so here is a gigantic pile of ancient moss-covered rocks that has been deposited onto land through the power of storms and time. Mostly storm. Had to be a really big one for this to achieve. Unfortunately, this is next to the North Sea. Ooh, quartz. It means that there is not a lot of treasure to be found here. Maybe some interesting minerals, if you know what you're looking for and have the right tools. But the rocket sort around here is very uniform of the same type. You can see that by how it all have split in the same way into big flakes. It means that it's probably not the right type if you want to look for, let's say, a gold vein. You know, the typical survival game style. You never really run out of rocks, you know. Or maybe you do, but or maybe you don't. Yeah, man, I'm semi-stacked rocks. Here you can see the Tor, the Tor Guild, yeah, Turlaget, or the Tor team, has made a marker, or someone else, but it's usually people who want to dedicate it to walking around. Ooh, and here we have some marsh cotton or boggy cotton, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of grass with thick hollow reeds And this fluffy stuff on top would probably be used to make pillows or something in the back in the day. And these yellow things, I'm not sure what they're called, but they're yellow and they're flowers. So I suppose these marsh cotton could be used in a survival game to make pillows. Here's a blue button, or blåknapp, though that one is not in bloom yet. Of course, some sunflower variation. Pieces of a terrible thing called Tromsøpalme, a tall vicious beast. There is some other yellow small flowers. And of course you have grass, some berry plant, krekebær. They have black round berries, full of seeds and not very tasty, or big. Ah yes, a Tromsøpalme. It's a palm from Tromsø. It's a weed that grows big and lives long. Oh, hey, drink. Crab shell. Probably a crow that has been eating this one. And here is one of those succulents that grows naturally around here. Easy to reproduce. Doesn't require a lot of water. Actually have flowers. Oh, yeah, here we go. See, it's a blue button. God, it's blue. There's a blue bloom that is button shaped. Oh, haha! I found a claw. Come. And yeah, here is like a trail marker. Just like the thing you can see in the background. The tiny little dot in the middle. So also a trail marker. And here you can see nature being nature. Ooh! Here is one of those shells. They're kind of cool. Now here we're talking. Here you can see how the rocks got deposited onto land. And churning of the waves. Yes. It's a quite a beautiful view. But you don't want to be caught down there, that's for sure. Then you will be churning along with the waves. And it's probably just enough hidden reefs and stones to trash any ship decide to close. But there is someone walking in the background here. That's interesting. Oh yeah. I passed that fellow a bit earlier. Oh yeah, and here is a blooming version of the blue button. Of course, always respect the forces of nature. As these waves, they look inviting, they look calmish, but they will tear you a new one. But listen to that sound. Oh, that's certainly something. While continuing the journey, we get walk past stagnant pools of water where green stuff grow. Called grønske, I think it is. Not terribly interesting. But let's keep on going over to one of the nice little bathing spots, ocean bathing spots, if you want a really good temperature around here. just need to traverse the stones first. And this is also good practice though. Except from the insect that is following me. So you can jump from stone to stone. Skip and jump. Unfortunately, this is next to the North Sea, so you will not find a lot of treasure in the, or trash in this location. Unfortunately, means that other places you will find mostly trash. And some people on a trip. Terrific. Somebody else had the same idea as me. Yeah. This is also good for the health. Now, of course, a very Norwegian thing is to build a cottage right in front of the waves. Hoping that nothing bad will ever happen. And whoop. And a whoop. Yeah. The terrain is kind of wave shaped, so it's flat on one side and diagonal on the other side. It means traversal and the line of sight is always interrupted by another gap. And over yonder we arrive at a landlocked slice of ocean where you can go swimming in this little lock, this little oasis. Because this doesn't get replaced too often. It's going to be very warm, a few waves. But since we're here, let's get closer. You see here, you can see the terrain goes all across the board, and this edge is very steep. Here you can probably jump down, although that water is probably too shallow and murky for swimming. It's probably best for frogs, unless you get randomly flushed away with a shower of salt. So the issue I'm faced with around here is just finding a safe passage down. Because around here there is no such thing as walking in a straight lane. There's a lot of dragonflies around here as well. Those are always a nice sight to see, because they eat bugs, other bugs. They're also iridescent blue, fast and fly in really cool ways. So yeah, this ocean water pool is perfect for a swim in the summer. If it's warm outside, because you're gonna work up. Wait, it was sweat walking over here. Well, good boots are recommended, or shoes, because this place is wetland. Where trees only get this high. And here's what I mean straight line. This place looks like you can walk across. And you probably can, depending on the time of the day, you'd think. But once you get close enough, you will see that it has a tiny canal funneling the water through, and the rest is blocked off by stones. Now this is where we're at when it comes to going for a swim. So see, here it's a shallow, water is calm. It is some, we call it tongue, you know, the kelp, which is probably a different type of seagrass. Bladder tongue. It has a pocket of air it's made up of in the membrane that keeps it afloat, as long as it's anchored to the ocean. So here you see floating around, and this place is perfect little atoll for a lagoon for a swim to bring your child and everyone else that can get here on foot. It's also fun to run around with a bucket and looking for creatures in the shallows. There's small fish, crustaceans, sea snails, hermit crabs, sand crabs. You can tell there's a lot of that going around due to how many little morsels have been devoured by birds over time. Unfortunately, there is a bit of trash here and there. I really need to learn to bring a bag for these trips and collect some of that plastic stuff. As you see here, it's the least, it's the most disgusting part of it, where all of the ocean, all of the duck puke has collected and such. I do believe they call it. But yeah, you can see, perfect place to walk into the water and go for a swim. Ooh. Here's some heimula. It's also a bit of a weed. Spreads like crap, no thing eats it. And it's very aggressive. And driftwood. A log of a tree that has been cleaned by the ocean and time. And then dried out for a bit. Cleaned some more. Slightly preserved with water, through water washing. So of course now I come to another part of this quite awesome scenery. We can see a ridge in the background with deposits of stone that has fallen down and been piled up. A bit of both apparently. Don't know how long those have been there. Probably longer than humans. Wouldn't surprise me. Of course, more driftwood. Another crab shell. These are kind of cool. And some clams. These are probably from a cabin. Yeah. Nature as the most beautiful. Not too spoiled, mostly untouched, and opening and inviting. And since it's Norway, there is hardly anything considered dangerous around here in the first place. And here's a bit of a cool thing as well. This is an old fence built by this stone deposit in order to prevent sheep from walking into where they shouldn't. But most of this old cultural landscape was used for animal husbandry at some point. Of course, a lot of it had collapsed. Those are just stacked stone, they're not assembled in any sort of way. So now we're going to go up there. Here's blueberry bushes. And some moss. Some, brushing. And when I say blueberries, I do mean blueberries. Succulent and ripe for the picking. And an optimistic pine tree. Yes. Here you can see it's also kind of wetland, because this is a prime place for water to run down the hillside. It's a really exotic location and view, especially if you're not familiar with it. I can see here by the grass, somebody else has walked through here recently. Because while wet, yes, it is still easier to traverse than the surrounding cliffs. protrusion and terrain. Ah, here's what I mean with those blackberries. The taste leaves a lot to be desired, but they are edible.